Warning, this video does contain gore. If you're a little bit squeamish and you have children, please look away now. But if you're not, carry on watching. Hello people, it's ProTrainer7 here today, and today I'll be reviewing Turok and Turok 2 for the Switch. Just to be clear, these are re-releases for the Switch that have come out recently, so I thought I'd do a double review of them. So without further ado, let's get into it. These two titles are just re-releases from the classic N64 series from the mid-90s, with upscaled visuals, with modern day quality of life updates for it. The Turok series has everything you want in a sci-fi shooter: dinosaurs, the undead, and aliens. But other than GoldenEye 007 for the N64, in my honest opinion, I think Turok series is the architect of modern shooters today. So if you want a classic shooter with a modern touch, look no further than Turok and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Oh, and you want some convincing? Right, here we go. Right, I better start with gameplay, hadn't I? Turok and Turok 2 are fast-paced first-person shooting games, which I think I've already established in this video. And when these games were brought over to the Switch, they seem to have had a bit of an update with the HD rumble, and the controls are just the same as what you find on most shooters nowadays. On the N64 you had to use your C buttons on the right hand side of the control pad and use your analog for the aiming, where it's been turned the other way around now, because the C buttons don't exist anymore. And with these games having been remastered, the HD rumble feels a lot better for it as well. But all in all, the controls are very easy to use and easy to get used to as well. But it can be challenging at times, which I like, because if everything was easy, it'd be just too easy and just be boring and dull. And thankfully these games don't do that. So the basic objectives of this game are, or these games, to be quite honest, you find all the level keys to progress through the game. You've got to find it in each and every level, and each level has 3 keys that you need to unlock. But there are also collectibles in this game as well, in the style of tokens. These tokens act like what rings do in Sonic the Hedgehog and what coins do in Super Mario Brothers. So once you collect 100 of them, you will get a free life then, which, unlike most other shooters, like especially ones today, it adds like a platforming element to it as well, so it gives you a bit of an extra incentive to collect stuff, because later in the game you are going to need those free lives and stuff. Well, I can't talk about a shooting title without mentioning weapons. These two titles have amazing variety in weapons, but with Turok 2 being a little bit more creative. Well, I'll say a little bit, I'll say a lot. Whereas in Turok you have basically just your guns and bows and knives and stuff. Whereas in Turok 2 you have a missile launcher which locks onto enemies and fires 3 missiles at it, and a landmine that cuts your enemy's legs off. And my personal favourite, which I reckon is everybody's that played this game, the cerebral bow, which basically locks onto your enemy, attaches itself to your enemy's head and pulls out his brain and then blows up. But whilst I'm on the subject of Turok 2, the main collectible in this game is actually a weapon, where you find parts of it yourself in unlockable portals through each level of the game. And once you built that, well, I'm not going to spoil it. In Turok 2 you get power-ups as well, but you unlock doing the same thing as you do when you unlock the weapon, the big weapon I mean. You'll find out once you've done it. But on the subject of these power-ups, you unlock these by collecting certain feathers, and certain feathers unlocks a certain ability, or a power-up as you might say, which helps you resist harmful water and jump great distances by standing on certain switches. And unlocking these power-ups helps you access certain areas that you can't reach otherwise, which means also you'd never ever complete a level 100% on your first go, which I find adds a bit more life to it as well. But out of these two titles, I'd say Turok 2 Seeds of Evil is the stronger one. But having said that, Turok basically made the foundation what Turok 2's built on. But there's also one thing missing in Turok 2. It doesn't seem to have the multiplayer mode in the game. But for me, it's not a total deal breaker. It is for some people, but not for me. In fact, in both these titles, I enjoy even from the classic series, I enjoy the one-player mode in it. And in Turok 2, you get to ride a Styracosaurus in the second level. Spoiler alert. But you do. And it is funny because you get to watch these dinosaur soldiers run away from you. But one thing I forgot to mention about the Styracosaurus is that it's got a machine gun attached to it and cannons. But there's only one minor detail that I need to mention as well before I finish off the gameplay part. In Turok 2, you have little waypoints on your screen to show you where important things are, where you need to be. This is handy for those who haven't played Turok 2 before. But if you're a veteran at this game like I am, you can switch it off. Or if you've completely forgot where you're going, you can just leave it on. It's just another quality of life improvement on a re-release, really. And that's all I can say about the gameplay bit. Alright, on to my final thoughts. All I can say is, whoa, what a nostalgia trip these games have been. Seriously, it's been a nice trip down memory lane playing these two. If you've never played these games before, I strongly recommend them. They are classic first-person titles, which I think holds up till today, unlike GoldenEye. But GoldenEye had a remake in about 10 years ago, I think. But we're not on about that. These titles still hold up to the standards of today. But not graphically, but graphics don't make a game. But if you don't mind the graphics, these titles are worth getting. But for me, I think they are really good shooters. Right, now it's time to give these games a score. I choose to do something very different in this video. I will score these titles separately. So through careful consideration, I will give Turok Dinosaur Hunter 7 out of 10 and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil 7.5 out of 10. Both of these titles are classic and I think they need to be replayed. I even like to have a little go every now and again. And I think that concludes my video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on notifications. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.